The first is Friedel-Crafts reaction. If I'm talking about alkylation and write all these reactions, okay, it is benzene. Okay. And I get it reacted with methyl chloride, obviously in presence of Lewis acid. Anhydrous AlCl3 alkylation will take place. Alkyl group will get attached. Okay. Write all these reactions so that you don't make any mistakes. Now I'll tell you what students have reported where the mistake in this one, the second one. Okay. They have written here RCO is acyl group. Okay. RCO is acyl group. If it is Cl, it is acyl chloride. If it is bromine, acyl bromide also. Now students have done mistake that instead of writing this CH3COCl, they have written it COOCl, which is wrong. And normally your examiners do not have that much time that they can focus on whether it is single or double O. But if they notice it, obviously your marks will be deducted. So don't make this mistake. RCO is acyl group. This is acyl part. Otherwise it is same. Anhydrous AlCl3 and here COCl. Sorry, COR group will be attached, that is acyl group, and same acid. Yeah. So this is commonly known as acetophenone or acetylbenzene you can call, but common name is acetophenone. And this is more popular, acetophenone, as compared to acetylbenzene. Make sure that you are writing all these reactions. Next, Friedel-Crafts alkylation of anisole. Now, if it is anisole, in that case, the difference will be that it will have OCH3 group, and OCH3 group is orthopara directly. Means this is anisole, and when you get it reacted with Friedel-Crafts alkylation, so either you can write R or you can write sorry RCl or you can write CH3Cl. Any example is good. Okay, so say CH3Cl. You can write RCl also, and don't forget to write anhydrous AlCl3. So here you will have CH3 group attached, and para position also you will have. CH3 group attached. Although para is major one, but the ortho one is not in very less quantity. It's not 95% 5% ratio. Rather, ortho one is also produced in substantial amount. Major one is para. Yes, Devanta. If it is asked, the major one is para. Next one, Friedel-Crafts acetylation of anisole. Acetylation or acylation, same thing. Okay. So in this case, again the same reaction, but acyl group will get attached instead of CH3, COCH3 will get attached. So you will write the same reaction, but instead of alkyl group, acyl. And write it again and again, okay, so that you don't forget it. So no one should be sitting idle. Everyone should be writing it. Otherwise, you won't be able to write in your examination. Now, IUPAC name wise, it will be 2-methoxyacetophenone. This one is actually, if you see, sorry, this one, if you see, it is acetophenone. Okay. So this carbon will be 1, this carbon will be 2. At 2, you have methoxy. So you will say 2-methoxy acetophenone. Here, this is acetophenone at 4th position. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. You have, so this is 4-methoxyacetophenone. Write it, write all the names so that you don't make any mistakes. Last slide was this one. So in this case, if you name it, sorry, this is anisole, but on ortho position you have methyl, so you will say O methyl anisole. In this case, para-methyl anisole. Okay, Rebanta, fine. Next one, what is an unsymmetrical ether? Now, why I have kept it here? Because the next question is based on this one. Unsymmetrical ether is where both the alkyl groups are not same. This is all of you should know. For example, if it is CH3O, CH2, CH3, or CH3, CH2, CH2O, CH2, CH3. These are unsymmetrical ether. The alkyl groups on both the sides are not same. Both the sides of oxygen are not same. The next one is Williamson synthesis. So what is Williamson synthesis? It is when alkyl halide, okay, and sodium alkoxide. The other one is sodium alkoxide. One is alkyl halide. They combine, okay, and they form ether. Then it is known as Williamson reaction or Williamson synthesis of ether. What a few answers I have received. Okay. Yes, Avnish, uh, 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 and Ribanta. Yes, Karthik Dhanai. Para is major because there is less hindrance. Para position is far away from the group. That's why most of the times para is major. Which last slide, whether this one or this one? So if you see para position is far away from here. So there is no steric hindrance or very less steric hindrance. Okay, next, Williamson synthesis, as I said, when alkyl halide reacts with sodium alkoxide, then in that case, ether is formed. And this is a type of SN2 mechanism. So whenever you see Williamson synthesis, remember it is SN2. So for example, if you have CH3, CH2, Cl, this is alkyl halide, and alkoxide, CH3, then CH2, sodium hydroxide. Okay. Then you will get CH3, CH2O, CH2, CH3. So this is symmetrical ether in this case because both the alkyl groups are same. Yes, Tanika, Namita, correct. Yes, Rebanta, we will be talking about that. Okay. So this is Williamson synthesis. Just to remember, right, when alkyl halide reacts with alkoxide, sodium alkoxide, sodium alkoxide to give ether. Then this is termed as Williamson synthesis. Next one, Kolbe reaction. Now, students have done mistakes here as well. Kolbe reaction, if it is written, it is Kolbe-Schmidt reaction, not the Kolbe's electrolytic method. Understand the difference. That's why the next one is Kolbe's electrolytic method. So this is Kolbe's reaction means Kolbe-Schmidt reaction. Yeah. Khushi Shrivastava, I don't have the calendar at the moment calendar in front of me, so I don't know when Mine's revision is scheduled, but anyway, but within a few days, everything will be revised. So revision is going on. So maybe in 2 weeks, you will anyway get mine's revised. So when we talk about the Schmidt reaction, Kolbe-Schmidt reaction, it is actually the reaction we can talk about phenol, okay, with sodium hydroxide, caustic soda basically, and we get sodium phenate, okay, or we also call that sodium phenoxide. And after that, it is reacted with carbon dioxide at around 2, 3 atmospheric pressure. Okay. And then ONA is converted to OH and COONA on the other one. Then acidic hydrolysis yields the salicylic acid. So first of all, you need to remember when we are talking about Kolbe's reaction means Kolbe-Schmidt reaction, it is we are talking about phenol to salicylic acid. First thing, Kolbe reaction is actually Kolbe-Schmidt reaction. And what we are doing, we are converting phenol to salicylic acid or salicylic acid. Okay, how we convert that? Write it in your notebook, memorize and write. This is phenol. We get it reacted with caustic soda. Sodium phenoxide, or also called sodium phenate, is produced. After that, we get it reacted with carbon dioxide, okay, at the pressure around 2 to 4 or 2 to 5, whatever you want to write. In few books, it is written 2 to 3. In few in NCRT, it is written 2 to 5 atm. Okay. So 2 to 5 atm pressure. then acetic hydrolysis, and you get salicylic acid. So this is Kolbe-Schmidt reaction. If I am writing it, you need to write, okay? Kolbe-Schmidt reaction, you need to write it. Don't just write the reaction, write the reaction name twice, thrice. Yes, Karthik Danai, but NaOH is preferred. Okay, okay Mansha. Next. Next is Kolbe's electrolytic method. Okay. And this one is something Kolbe Schmidt reaction is we talked about the aromatic compounds. Kolbe electrolytic method, we are talking about aliphatic compound. Okay, basically salts. And understand all the points. And Kolbe electrolytic method is lengthier than the Kolbe Schmidt reaction. So you need to understand all the points. So first you have sodium acetate. Write all the reactions. I don't need to say again and again. So first it gets ionized into CH3CO minus and Na plus. First step is ionization. First step is ionization of sodium acetate. Okay, so ionization of sodium acetate, first step. Then you will write, in this case, rather at anode and cathode, rather split it. Okay. So say at anode and at cathode. At anode, it will be CH3COO minus, which will get converted to CH3COO. Okay, it will lose two electrons. If it loses two electrons, means oxidation. So remember, at anode there will always be oxidation, and then it will get converted to CH3. CH3, that is, have here two. So because we will need two CH3 and CO2 will get evolved. Ethane will be. So this will be actually free radical. So if you want to write it like this, it will be good because it will be free radical, which will be unstable. At cathode, reduction will take place. So at cathode, we have sodium. It will react with H2O and NaOH, hydrogen produced. So this is what You need to write in coal-based electrolytic method. So again, here also somebody asked, here also you can, instead of sodium salt, you can use potassium salt as well. The reaction will be same. Basically, it is preparation method of alkanes. Upanyu, coal-based electrolytic method is a preparation method of alkanes. Basically, even numbered alkanes. Now, the same coal-based electrolytic method, instead of just CH3COONA, the same will be for if it is CH2COONA, CH2COON. It will be same. Okay. It will get ionized. Okay. Then this part at anode, CH2COO minus, CH2COO minus, okay, will lose 2 electrons and will get converted into unstable free radical, okay, and then will get converted to CH3, CH3. Rather, in this case, it is CH2, CH2. There are only 2 carbons, so change it to CH2. Here, there will be double bond. So in this case, alkene will be produced. Carbon dioxide will be released as it is. Because there are only 2 hydrogens, that's why alkene has been produced. But reaction mechanism will be same. At cathode, same reaction. At cathode, exactly same reaction will be there because 2Na will combine with 2H2O to produce 2NaOH and hydrogen will be released. The reaction at anode will be different. Next, aldol condensation. Evergreen important reaction. So first tell me what is the condition for aldol condensation? What is the condition for aldol condensation? Good, Avnish, correct. Tathagat, correct. And that is asked as it is without the reaction. Okay, that is also a question, that what is the condition for aldol condensation? Only 2 responses. Shift, that is the reaction basically, but which type of compounds? Even I say aldehyde and ketone, but what type of aldehyde or ketone I am talking about? Yes, Shiv, Mancha, correct. Namita, correct. So there should be at least one alpha hydrogen. So the condition is at least one alpha hydrogen. only then this reaction will take place. Okay, one new, yeah, you can say at least of one or more. That is correct. Okay. So the condition is basically combination. Condensation is basically when they combine and form a new product. That is actually condensation here. What we mean by that. Okay. So if there are two molecules of an aldehyde or ketone, but there should be at least one alpha hydrogen atom, then in presence of dilute alkali. So you will write on the arrow, you will write dilute OH minus or KOH minus, very dilute, okay? KOH or NaOH, but dilute. Otherwise, ionization does not take place and attack does not happen in that case. And then what is formed actually, that is beta hydroxyaldehyde or beta hydroxyketone. So if we have taken aldehyde, aldehyde, ketone, ketone, but what type of aldehyde or ketone will be produced? Beta type. Okay. Then it is known as aldol condensation. So try to understand. Suppose we are talking about ethanol. Okay. So two molecules will combine. So one ethanol reacts with another ethanol here. Okay. Rather write it slightly different, and I'll explain why I am writing it different. Okay, I'm writing it like this. Although both are same, I'm just writing one as this one, and there is a reason I'll tell you. And then I'll write on the arrow dilute alkali. Then how it will combine, I'll explain. First, I'm writing it. So the role is of alpha hydrogen here. The role is of alpha hydrogen. That's why I have written it like this. So now tell me, in first case here, which one is alpha hydrogen? Which one is alpha hydrogen? Okay, correct, correct, correct. Right. Karthik Dhanai has given explained it clearly. Okay. No, no, both will have alpha hydrogen. Both will have Mansha. Okay. Both are CH3CHO. So obviously, I was asking. No, Avnish. Uh, not hyd. Okay, you have replied in terms of hydrogen. Okay, fine, correct. Now, this one here is alpha. Here we have alpha hydrogen. So this is actually alpha carbon. Okay, this carbon is actually alpha carbon. So what happens? And this is something you have to cram. And if you remember this one, you won't face any difficulty. Hushi Srivastava, specifically, you asked about aldol condensation. I remember this alpha carbon will get attached to carbonyl group carbon. That's it. If you remember this thing, everything is easy. The alpha carbon of one molecule will get attached to carbonyl carbon, carbon of the carbon. So that's what has happened here. Okay. This is CH here. It got attached to this one. And when it will get attached, obviously, it will get attached when it will lose this hydrogen, alpha hydrogen, one of the alpha hydrogens. So that's why CH2, it became CH2, got attached, and that hydrogen moved here to form OH. Okay. I'm explaining it with another example so that you remember it. Okay. So I'm explaining it with ketone. Say it is CH3CO, CH3, and the other one will also be CH3CO, CH3. Okay. Now alpha carbon is this one because this is adjacent to the main carbonyl. So the first one attached to the functional group is alpha. This alpha will get attached to this carbon. Now to understand this one, I'm just writing this one slightly differently. I'm writing this CH3 here. It is still CH3CO, CH3. So this will get attached here and hydrogen will get attached here. So what will be produced? I have CH3C, CH3. This was carbonyl group. Obviously, I'll change it. Here I will get CH3C double bond O CH3 attached, and this one will become. So this is the product produced in this case. If I want to name it, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4 means 4 hydroxy. It will be hydroxy because ketonic group will have the preference. And at 4, you have methyl group also, and nothing else, just 5 carbons. So it will be 4 hydroxy, 4 methyl pentanol. Okay, rather pentan 2-on because the double bond O can be here also. Carbonyl group can be here also. So that's why it is good to mention the position of ketone. So 4 hydroxy, 4 methyl pentan 2-on. Yes, sir. Correct. So understand the logic. Alpha carbon of one molecule will get attached to carbon of carbonyl group of other molecule. The carbonyl group of first one which is getting attached will remain intact. The carbonyl group of that one to which the molecule gets attached gets converted to OH. And remember, it's still the reaction is not complete. Okay? Aldol condensation involves heating also. So don't just leave here. After that, when we heat it, we will get aldehyde with double bond or ketone with double bond. Dehydration will take place. I'll explain that. First understand this one. After that, what will happen when I'll heat? When I heat this compound, CH3CHOH, CH2, CHO, dehydration will take place, means H and OH will go away. And it will be in accordance to Setzeff rule that if the double bond will be formed between those carbons, which lead to maximum number of alkyl groups attached to the double bonded carbons. So when we heat it, there are two possibilities. hydrogen can go away. OH obviously will go away from here, but hydrogen can go away from here or from here, from both places. But if double bond is formed here, on these two doubly bonded carbons, there will be only one alkyl group attached. There is no alkyl group attached on left hand side. On this side, no alkyl group. On right side, just one. Okay. But if I consider, suppose the H goes from here, then these two carbons, double bond is formed here. There is one carbon attached to this one, and there is one carbon attached to other carbon of the double bond. So doubly bonded carbons are these two, and to these carbons which form the double bond, there are two carbons attached. So as per Setzeff rule, the double bond will be formed here. So it will lead to CH3, CH double bond, CH, CH. Okay, it means but 2 in 1 al, or you can't may skip 1, it will be just but 2 enal. Will be but 2 in 1 al, or 1 you can skip, just you can write in but 2 in. Similarly, in this case, OH can, OH obviously will leave from here. Hydrogen can go away from here or here. Okay. But double bond will be formed here, because in this case, the doubly bonded carbons are attached to more number of carbons. So what you will get, if you CH3, COH, CH3, CH2, C double bond O. Everyone should be writing all the reactions what I am writing here. Okay. When you heat, in that case, it will form CH3, C, CH3, double bond CH3O, CH. Double bond will be formed here, because now these two carbons are attached to maximum number of other carbons as per Setzeff rule. If you name it, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again at 4 you have methyl and nothing else. So 4 methyl pent 3 in 2 pone. 4 methyl pent 3 in 2. Rather E won't be there because two vowels cannot be in conjunction. So 4 methyl pent 3 in 2 pone. At third carbon from right you have double bond. Second carbon you have ketone. Okay, Namita, I'm just okay. Which one is beta hydrogen? Good, basically good question. Okay, so if you see when we produced this one, okay, mm, this one, okay, so this is alpha and this is beta. Similarly, this one is alpha, this one is beta. And the reason is very simple, because the aldehyde group has preference over alcoholic group. Alcoholic group is secondary group. So alpha and beta will be with respect to aldehyde group, not the OH group. So If I consider this one, alpha beta here, and if I consider this one, alpha and beta as shown. Alpha will always be the adjacent one to the functional group, main functional group. Okay, so that's why these are known as beta hydroxy. Okay, alpha hydrogen should be present for aldol condensation, aldol condensation. But the product here, if you see, it is beta hydroxy. Okay. In this case also, this carbon, if you see, this carbon is alpha because it is nearest to the main carbonyl group, and this one is beta. So it means beta hydroxy. So that's why if you name this one, it will be beta hydroxy. Okay. How many carbons? 4 butanol. Beta hydroxy butanol. And this one will be, because there is hydroxy, I had written there. So this is also hydroxy, it is beta hydroxy ketone. So just name I had already written, if you remember. Okay. 4 methyl, no, hydroxy is will come first. 4 hydroxy, 4 methyl pentan 2-one. But this is beta hydroxy ketone. Beta hydroxy. It's a ketone where on beta carbon you have hydroxyl group attached. So if this reaction appears, you should mention these keywords that intermediate before heating. What you get is actually write the names, IUPAC name, and also write that it is beta hydroxy aldehyde or beta hydroxy ketone. Anything not clear, let me know. As I said in previous class also, the classes which are going on nowadays are the key for your marks. So be attentive. Don't just sit idle. Now cross aldol condensation. Cross aldol condensation will be when we use two different molecules. We don't use the same molecule. Okay. Then it is cross aldol, and there are four uh, compounds which will be produced because there will be different type of reactions. There will be aldol condensation anyway, but cross aldol condensation will also be there. And it is very important to understand these type of reaction because if there are two different molecules, one alpha carbon of say one molecule will get attached to carbonyl group of second one, and also the alpha carbon of second one will get attached to carbonyl group of first one. So two different compounds from cross aldol and two different from aldol because one will react with one and two will react with two. So two compounds from aldol condensation and two from cross aldol condensation. So in cross aldol condensation, four products will be formed, okay? Two by aldol and two by cross aldol. But we will call the overall reaction as cross aldol condensation. Whatever four compounds are formed. And I'll apply the same logic that alpha carbon of one will get attached to carbonyl group carbon. So suppose I have methanol and ethanol. So this is alpha. It will get attached to carbonyl group carbon. This is actually CHO. This will get attached here. This is alpha carbon. I'm talking about cross aldol at the moment. Okay. So say this one is first, this one is second. I will be terming this one methanol as one first and ethanol as second. So here alpha carbon of second got attached to carbonyl carbon of first one. So this is actually CH2O, yeah, like this. So keep it like this, CH2, and you have O here, which will get converted to OH, and CH2CHO will get correct. So again, remember this is alpha, this is beta carbon. Here again you have beta hydroxyl compound. If you name it, it will be 1, 2, 3. On 3 you have hydroxy group. It will be 3 hydroxy propane. Okay. So remember the alpha carbon of ethanol attacked on carbonyl carbon of methane. Is that clear? Okay. Now ethanol will react with ethanol. This will react with itself, and this is something we have done. Now this one doesn't have any alpha carbon. So it means one cannot attack on two. So in this case, only two compounds will be found. This one, what has been done, and the other one, CH3CHO plus CH3CHO. This carbon will attack on the carbonyl carbon, and as we know, it will be CH3COH, CH2, CH. So only two compounds will be found. Yes, Uppan. But if both have alpha carbons, alpha hydrogen, then in that case, four products will be formed. Just to explain, I'm taking another example. Suppose now I'll take the one where you have both have the carbonyl group and alpha carbon. So CH3COCH3. I'm writing this CH3 here because it is easy to understand. CH3CHO. Then this carbon will attack on carbonyl carbon, alpha carbon to carbonyl carbon, that is CH3C. This oxygen will get converted to OH, CH3, and then CH2, CHO. This is one product found. I'm not writing the aldol one reaction. I'm writing only cross aldol. Okay, only cross aldol. Okay. Then you have CH3CHO. This one I have taken here now. Okay, and I have CH3, C double bond O, CH3. So now this is alpha containing alpha hydrogen. This will attack here. This is CH. It is CH3C. This O will get converted to OH. To this CH, CH2, C double bond O, CH3 will get attacked. So now there are two different products. Okay. So these are cross aldol, and obviously, we have already discussed that first will react first, second will react second, total four compounds will be produced. Make sure that you revise and write those reactions again. Next, Cannizzaro reaction. Now tell me the condition of Cannizzaro reaction. What is the condition? As we discussed in case of aldol condensation, and you have seen how it was useful. Good, Tathagat, Revanta, Avnish, good. No, Revanta, not beta, alpha. Okay? No alpha hydrogen. Tanishka, correct. So Cannizzaro is condition wise opposite of aldol. So condition is no alpha hydrogen. Then Cannizzaro reaction will take place. Okay. The aldehyde should not have, must not have rather, any alpha hydrogen. And another condition, which is actually the requirement, that it should have concentrated alkali. Okay, concentrated alkali. Then it is known as Cannizzaro reaction. So suppose I have, in previous case, if you remember, we discussed one case of methanol, and methanol didn't have the alpha hydrogen. That's why only two reactions were possible. Okay, so in this case, one we can take as methanol, and obviously both have to be same. So two molecules of same thing, SCHO plus HCHO. And remember, and that's why I write it again and again every time, that here it is concentrated alkali. So you can write OH minus, but in this case, prefer writing KOH. And the reason is because we know that one compound is produced as, in this case, it will be potassium formate. So that's why K has to be visible. So alcohol and the other one, the salt of acid is produced. It will be here in this case, HCOK. Condition you need to remember, no alpha hydrogen and concentrated KOH. In case of aldol condensation or cross aldol condensation, alpha hydrogen must and dilute alkali, dilute KOH. Here, no alpha hydrogen, concentrated KOH. Now you know that apart from methanol, if aldehydic group is on benzene, then also there is no alpha hydrogen. On this carbon, there is no hydrogen. The carbon which is attached to functional group does not have any hydrogen. It means it will also undergo Cannizzaro reaction. And similar to this one, here you will have one alcoholic group, not phenol, remember, okay? And then salt of acid. Must remember all these things. Now, one very important point related to this one, which is asked and which has been asked many a times. You will be asked either to give an example of organic disproportionation reaction, okay, or to justify that Cannizzaro reaction is a disproportionation reaction, means same aldehyde is getting oxidized as well as reduced. So if you see in this particular case, one molecule of aldehyde is getting oxidized and one molecule is getting reduced. And you know, when alcohol, it goes from aldehyde to alcohol, it is reduction. This is something you know that, okay? I have already told you to remember all these things: alcohol, oxidized aldehyde or ketone, depending on where the OH group is, and then again oxidized, then acid. So if it is aldehyde to alcohol, it is reduction, okay? The other one is oxidation. So this one is reduction. This one is oxidation. Aldehyde to acid is oxidation. Aldehyde to alcohol, reduction. So this is an example, very good example of organic reaction, disproportionate or organic reaction. These examples, what I have written, are actually examples of disproportionate reaction. And sequence you already know: aldehyde to acid is oxidation, aldehyde to alcohol, reduction. Next, disproportionate. This is something I have explained. Then cross Cannizzaro reaction. Cross Cannizzaro reaction, as you already know, that there will be different type of aldehydes, but both should not have alpha hydrogen. It means when you get formaldehyde doesn't have any alpha hydrogen, and benzyldehyde also doesn't have any alpha hydrogen. Condition is concentrated QH. Then the major part basically is that salt will always be of non-aromatic, that is aliphatic. Okay? It means here we will get benzyl alcohol and HCO. Okay. Now the same thing is asked differently in cross Cannizzaro reaction of formaldehyde with benzaldehyde or benzaldehyde, whether formaldehyde is oxidized or reduced. So the question will be asked this like this also. So formaldehyde will get oxidized. If the question is asked like this, you need to know that this is the same reaction you will be using. So cram it. Formaldehyde in cross Cannizzaro reaction, formaldehyde will always get oxidized. Next, Gattermann reaction. Again, very important reaction. Okay. Gattermann reaction is nothing but that you have diazonium salt, you get it reacted with HCl in presence of copper powder, and halogen is attached basically. Halogen replaces the diazo group. Simple. Nitrogen is evolved. Remember these things. Gattermann reaction, first I am writing it. So suppose we have a diazo group. When you show diazo group, it is always advisable to write the charges as well. You get it reacted with HCl in presence of copper powder. And diazo group will be replaced by halide and nitrogen will be released. If you take instead of HCl, you take HBr. So whatever you take here, so again, very important point basically. It decides the halide. If you take HBr, then bromobenzene will be produced. So I'm writing it so that, and yourself write it so that you remember it. So suppose I have N2Cl, N2 plus Cl minus, and here I have HBr instead of HCl. Copper powder. So in this case, don't think that here I have N2Cl minus, so here chlorine will be there. No, here bromine will be there now. Nitrogen is evolved, remember. Gattermann reaction. Write it 2, 3 times. Gattermann reaction. Aditya, not done for HF. Okay. Next, very important reaction, Riemann-Tiemann reaction or Riemann-Tiemann reaction. And again, very important reaction because here also you have phenol and salicylaldehyde is produced. Okay, from phenol to salicylaldehyde, very common reaction. From phenol to salicylic acid, Kolbe's reaction or Kolbe's Schmidt reaction. Okay, so remember all these comparisons so that you can recall easily. Kolbe Schmidt reaction or Kolbe reaction is phenol to salicylic acid. And Riemann-Tiemann reaction is phenol to salicylaldehyde. Okay. So we have phenol. And we get it reacted. And this reaction is basically asked in many ways. Sometimes something will be missing and you will be asked to complete the reaction. Sometimes you will be asked about the conditions. For example, here 340 K temperature. Okay. Uh, don't write the intermediates unless it is asked. You can just write the reaction OH. Normally, the convention is that instead of writing it like this, salicylaldehyde and salicylic acid both, they are written like this. This is just the convention. I'm not saying that whether it is correct or wrong. No, that is just the convention that instead of writing OH at the top and CHO on the ortho position, It is written like this. Same true for salicylic acid. NaCl, and then water is released. Okay. F2H2O. This is release aldehyde. Now, same is true as we have done in Kolbe's electrolytic method. You can convert it to salicylic acid also. Okay, so this is, if you have understood this one. Now, same conversion which we did in Kolbe's Schmitt reaction. Kolbe reaction or Kolbe Schmitt reaction, what we did, phenol to salicylic acid. In this case, if we use in place of chloroform, if we use carbon tetrachloride, then salicylic acid will be produced. Reaction will be slightly different. Mechanism is almost same. So you have phenol, but now you are using CCl4. It does not require much heat. In this case, you can just write heat. And instead of salicylic acid will be produced. And remember, when we write acid, I have already told you as per IUPAC naming convention also, there is space. But if you write salicylic, then there won't be any space between aldehyde and salicylate. But salicylic acid, there will be space. Okay. Then same, you will get NaOH, sorry, NaCl and H2O, same. But balancing is slightly different here. Um, if before NaOH is there, and then you can balance this side also, there will be 4 NaCl. Then balance the hydrogen 1 plus 5, hydrogen 3 plus 1, no, 4 plus 1, 5, 1, 2. What am I getting balanced? Okay, okay, because one hydrogen was replaced from here. One hydrogen was here, okay? So that's why. It will be 1, 2, 6, 6 here. Yeah. Write all these reactions quite a few times. Okay, now the last reaction today, Killimanson reduction. Okay. Whenever you see Killimanson reduction, first thing which should come in your mind is zinc amalgam. The first thing which should come in your mind is zinc amalgam. And then we use concentrated HCl. And very important method for conversion of aldehyde or ketone to hydrocarbons alkanes. So any aldehyde or ketone can be converted. So suppose I have aldehyde CH3 CHO zinc amalgam concentrated HCl. Write it 2 3 times, then you will be able to understand. Okay, CH3 CH3 will be produced. Suppose I have another one, say this time is ketone. Same thing, zinc amalgam, concentrated HCl. In this case, propane will be produced because there are 3 carbons. If there are 4 carbons, butane will be produced. Okay. So during conversion, this is one of the very important methods where you will convert the carbonyl group directly to alkanes. Carbonyl group directly to same number of carbons, alkanes. This is question number 13. Mansha. Clear? In Catterman reaction, Catterman reaction, remember HCl HBr will decide the halide type of halide. Yeah. Yeah. This reaction, Riemann-Tiemann reaction, okay, it is used for both phenol to salicylic acid, phenol to salicylaldehyde. But remember, Kolbe's or Kolbe-Schmidt reaction is only for phenol to salicylic acid. Then Clemmensen reduction, zinc amalgam in presence of concentrated HCl, direct conversion of carbonyl group to alkane. Carbonyl group to alkane. Tanishka, this is 12th reaction, Frost-Cannizzaro reaction. Frost-Cannizzaro reaction is a very good example of disproportionation reaction. Again, okay, Cannizzaro reaction also, disproportionation reaction. Clear? Okay, so now enjoy yourself, keep revising. Take care. Bye bye.